So in late 2011, myself and another former student organised a 10-year reunion of our social work graduating class from 2001. We were the first group to go through the full 4-year undergraduate social work degree at Trobe, Albury-Wodonga. It was just amazing to see the diversity, and we talk a lot about in social work the diversity of sort of career options that you can have, and this really brought that home. You know, we had students or people who'd gone on to do social work, you know, moved to the city and studied and you know, worked for government departments or what have you. We had people who had stayed locally and worked with local agencies or local communities, and we had people who'd sort of gone overseas and worked in social work in the United Kingdom and in other countries sort of around the world. So it really highlighted not just the diversity of careers that people went into, and some of those were working directly as social workers, and others were using, you know, the skills and the knowledge they'd learned as social workers and applying them to sort of other relevant fields and, you know, different problems and that kind of thing.
Well, since I graduated, I've been working for the Department of Community Services, and I've worked in all of the program areas through child protection and out-of-home care, and have taken on a case management role in those programs. Recently, I've been working doing education with carers around addressing issues of childhood trauma so that children can repair that trauma and start to live more full lives again.
And I guess it highlighted how, you know, from that cohort of students, how all of them were still operating in some way as social workers, and all of them had you know, quite interesting and you know, engaging careers, and they were all, you know, really quite passionate about talking about social work again and doing that, so it was great. One of the main things we were interested in, other than catching up, was really to, I guess, capture some of those stories, not just what they've been doing since they'd graduated, but also getting them to reflect on what it was like to study social work at La Trobe, Albury-Wodonga, and you know, it's really heartening to hear some real common themes amongst their responses around, you know, the benefits of being on a small campus and being able to, for most of them, being able to study close to home or stay with family if they were early school, you know, if they were school leavers, or stay with family if they were mature age students and had their own family.
Look, I was a very nervous starter. I arrived here and thought, I don't even know if I'm going to find the right room. I think everyone goes through those worries. I was worried about being a mature age student, but from the moment I started the first class, I loved it. It's hard to find a favourite memory because I loved every moment that I was here.
I think the best memories were the time that I spent with other students here, talking about our lives, what we wanted to do, what we wanted to see change in the world, and talking about how we might help make that happen.
Yeah, they talked a lot about the support that they received from fellow students, you know, being a small, relatively small cohort, but also the support that they received from staff and librarians and you know, all of the other people that you know, go to make up the university community, I guess. So that was great. One of the, I guess, core values or principles within social work is being relevant and responsive to the community that you're living in and working in, and I think we're able to mirror that perhaps a little more easily on a smaller campus because you know, people are living and studying, they're doing their placements, you know, their field placements in local agencies mostly, so they're getting that understanding of issues within the community, which then prepares them quite well for, you know, a professional role, you know, working in those fields and those communities.
I think that if you care about the community you live in, if you'd like to think that you would influence it and shape it to have a better outcome for a particular group within it, definitely make social work your choice, because if you care about those things, you can be very happy at work as well as contributing to the change that you want to see.